Imagine standing in the Colosseum. 50,000 voices roar in unison. The ground shakes beneath your feet, and in the center of the arena, two men fight for their lives. They are slaves, criminals, and prisoners of war. Yet here, inside this circle of blood and sand, they become gods. Their names are whispered by crowds, carved into stone and remembered for centuries. Today, we uncover the stories of the 10 gladiators who defied death and became immortal icons of ancient Rome. The Roman Empire was built on conquest and spectacle. Victory on the battlefield expanded its borders, while victory in the arena entertained its people. Gladiators weren't just fighters, they were living sacrifices offered to the hunger of Rome's citizens. Every fight was theater. The crowd demanded drama, courage, and blood. For the poor, the games were a distraction from hardship. For emperors, they were a tool of power. But within this brutal system, certain gladiators rose above the rest. Their names carried weight far beyond the arena, men who became legends, heroes, and even symbols of rebellion. Cross swords, the top 10 gladiators of Rome. Spartacus, the rebel who shook Rome, he was never meant to be a gladiator. Born in Thrace, Spartacus was once a soldier. Captured by Rome, he was sold into slavery and trained as a gladiator in the school of Capua. To the Romans, he was just another fighter meant to bleed for their amusement. But Spartacus carried fire in his heart. In 73 BCE, alongside 70 fellow gladiators armed only with kitchen knives and stolen weapons, he escaped. What began as a desperate bid for freedom grew into a full-scale rebellion. Tens of thousands of slaves, men and women, flocked to his side. For 2 years, Spartacus and his army humiliated Rome. They defeated legions, captured cities, and threatened the very heart of the empire. Though ultimately crushed by Crassus, Spartacus's defiance made him a legend. Spartacus may have died, but his name became a symbol not of defeat, but of freedom. Even today, he stands as proof that even the oppressed can shake an empire. Flamma, the reluctant hero. Not all gladiators wanted freedom. Flamma, a Syrian soldier captured by Rome, was forced into the arena. He wasn't expected to survive long, but his skill made him unstoppable. Over his career, Flamma fought 34 battles, winning 21 and drawing 9. For times, he was offered the wooden sword of freedom, Rudis, a symbol that his service was complete. But 4 times he refused. Why? Perhaps he craved the roar of the crowd, the glory that came only in the arena. Or perhaps freedom outside meant nothing to a man whose identity had been forged in combat. Flamma died in the arena at the age of 30. But to Romans, he became something larger than life. The gladiator who chose glory over liberty. Commodus, the emperor gladiator. Not all gladiators were slaves. Some entered the arena by choice, even an emperor. Commodus, son of Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, was unlike his father. Where Marcus sought wisdom, Commodus sought spectacle. Obsessed with the games, he fought as a gladiator. Though his opponents were carefully chosen, his victories guaranteed. To some, Commodus was a disgrace, an emperor lowering himself to a slave's profession. To others, he embodied the intoxicating power of the arena. When even an emperor risked his life to taste the blood-soaked glory of the Colosseum, it showed how irresistible the call of the arena truly was. Marcus Attilius, the underdog. Attilius was different. He wasn't a slave. He was a free Roman citizen who volunteered to fight. Why? For honor, debt, or fame we may never know. On his debut, Attilius faced Hilaris, a seasoned gladiator with 12 consecutive victories. The crowd expected a slaughter, but Attilius stunned them. With determination and skill, he defeated Hilaris. In that moment, the unknown underdog became a sensation. His story inspired Romans, proof that even the untested could rise in the sands of the arena. Priscus and Verus, the eternal duel. Some gladiatorial battles ended not with death, but with honor. In 80 CE, during the opening games of the Colosseum, 2 gladiators, Priscus and Verus, fought a duel so fierce, so evenly matched, that neither could gain the upper hand. Hours passed. The crowd was enthralled. Finally, exhausted, both men lowered their weapons. Silence filled the amphitheater. Then Emperor Titus rose, moved by their courage. He awarded both men the rudis, freedom for both. Their duel became legend not because of blood spilled, but because of honor earned. Crixus, the champion of the people. Crixus was a Gaul, strong and fearless. For years, he was adored in the arena, a favorite of Roman crowds. But when Spartacus rebelled, Crixus joined him. While Spartacus dreamed of marching on Rome, Crixus wanted vengeance against the aristocrats and elites. He fought not just for freedom, but for revenge, though he died in battle before the rebellion's end. His name remained tied to Spartacus as one of the fiercest warriors who dared to challenge the empire that once worshipped him. Carpophorus, the beast slayer. Not all gladiators fought men. Some were pitted against beasts. Carpophorus was Rome's greatest bestiarius, a gladiator who fought wild animals. Lions, leopards, bears, even rhinos. His skill was unmatched. In one spectacle, he reportedly killed 20 wild beasts in a single match. The crowd adored him. They marveled at his courage, cheered his victories, and spread his name across the empire. Carpophorus wasn't just a killer. He was a performer, an artist of survival against nature's fiercest predators. Tetraites, the forgotten icon. Little is known about Tetraites, but what we do know is extraordinary. His fame was so great that his image was carved onto glass cups sold across the Roman Empire, souvenirs for fans. Imagine, 2,000 years ago, Romans drinking wine from cups etched with their favorite gladiator's name. Tetraites may not have left behind stories of rebellion or emperors, but he left something else. Proof that gladiators were among the first celebrities in history. Spiculus, the emperor's favorite. Spiculus was Nero's chosen gladiator. His victories earned him riches, gifts, and even palaces. He wasn't just a fighter. He was a symbol of imperial favor. When Nero's empire crumbled, the emperor begged Spiculus to grant him a warrior's death. But Spiculus was nowhere to be found. Still, his story remains Rome's greatest gladiator who turned blood into fortune. Hermes, the master of all weapons. Hermes wasn't known for one style, but many. He could fight as a Myrmillo, a Secutor, or a Retiarius. Strong, fast, and versatile. He was celebrated as one of the most complete gladiators ever to live. Audiences adored him not just for his victories, but for the thrill of unpredictability. With Hermes, you never knew what style, what weapon, or what strategy he would bring to the sand. Gladiators weren't just fighters. They were reflections of Rome itself, its violence, its glory, its contradictions. Some fought for freedom, some for honor, others for the roar of the crowd. But in every drop of blood spilled, they left behind something eternal, their stories. 2,000 years later, we still speak their names. Spartacus, Flamma, Attilius, Priscus, Verus, men who began as slaves, prisoners, or outcasts, but died as legends. So now, I ask you, were gladiators heroes or victims? Were they champions of courage or prisoners of a cruel system? Tell me what you think in the comments. And if you want more hidden stories from the past, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Because history is not just about the empires that ruled, but about the men who bled in the sand,